Hey beautiful souls, and welcome to this week's Akashic Pick a Card reading. I'm Susie, creator of Akashic Soul Alchemy and the Akashic Soul Alchemy Oracle, and today we're going to look at a question that touches so many areas of our life. What is blocking your abundance? And when I say abundance, I don't just mean money. Scarcity can show up as feeling there is never enough time, never enough support, never enough opportunity, never enough love, confidence, or even certainty. Sometimes it shows up as overworking, as holding back, or feeling guilty for wanting more. Sometimes it shows up as struggling to receive, and sometimes it's much more subtle than that. You may even know consciously that you want more abundance in your life, but underneath that desire there can still be old beliefs, soul patterns, survival codes that are saying it isn't safe to have more, or there won't be enough, or I have to work harder to deserve it. If I receive, someone else loses, or I need to hold on to what I have. Those deeper soul patterns are exactly what we are going to explore today. So I will be using the Akashic Soul Alchemy Oracle, which was created as a tool for deeper self-discovery, recognition, and healing. And the deck helps us to explore soul wounds, soul patterns, beliefs, emotional imprints, and survival codes that can sit underneath the experience we are having now. So today, rather than looking outside of ourselves for an answer, we're using the cards to understand what may be shaping your relationship with scarcity, lack, and abundance from within. Okay, so because this is a pick a card reading, I have 3 cards here ready for you today. So just take a moment and look at all 3 cards. Try not to choose with your mind. Notice which one your attention keeps returning to. Okay, so this is card 1, card 2, and card 3. Okay, so let's do that a bit better. Card 1, card 2, and card 3. Now each card carries a very different message around what may be keeping you connected to scarcity or lack, and what your soul is asking you to recognize so you can begin to open to greater abundance. So take a nice deep breath and ask yourself, what am I ready to understand about my relationship with abundance? When you're ready, choose card 1, card 2, or card 3, and let's see what the Akashic Records want to show you. So let me know your number in the comments. So let's start with card 1, and this is an interesting one. So this is your environment. Okay, so when we're talking about our environment, we're not just necessarily talking about the space that you work. Abundance is often connected to money, wealth, prosperity, all of those things. And, if we're a spiritual entrepreneur, someone that is working for ourselves, then our environment can have a massive effect on us. So we'll look at it from that point of view. So your environment, it is important that your environment is in alignment with who you are, what you're here to do, how you're here to show up. Okay, when we're working, now this is something that came up for me that was massive, is that my environment wasn't in alignment with me, because I had people in and out all the time. I had different energies entering my space, and that affected me massively, because I'm an empath. So I had to put different things into place in order to protect my environment and make sure that the energy was really high vibrational. So if you're working from home and there's people coming in and out, or there's arguments, or you've got negative people or needy people that are showing up into your environment, then it is important that you keep your environment energetically cleansed. okay? So that you're not taking on the energy from that argument or from that negative person, or, you know, from lots of people coming in and out with different energies. So this would be a good time to really look at your environment, and is it in alignment with who you are and, you know, what you're here to share as well. So regular cleansing is going to be important, cleansing your crystals, setting boundaries for, you know, the times that you work, who's allowed in your space. All of those different things come up. Also, I think environment really speaks about ourselves as well, and making sure that we are keeping our own energy clear and cleansed before working. So it might be that you want to put some rituals in place, making sure that you cleanse your working space, even your environment as well, regularly. Okay, that's really, really important, because especially if you are an empath even, or you know, working spiritually, we take on so much energy. Our environment can also include, you know, our car. It can include any area of the house. So when this card comes up, your environment is blocking your abundance. So this would be a good time to do a deep cleanse for yourself and for your environment. So let me know how that card resonated with you. Card 2 is lack and scarcity. Okay, so quite surprised that this came up in the reading. So lack and scarcity. So for me, lack and scarcity is not enough. Okay, so there's not enough time, there's not enough money, there's not enough support, there's not enough clients. So this card is really inviting you to, you know, have a good look in your life, in your day-to-day life, of where you feel there isn't enough. What we put out is what we receive back, right? That is the main rule of the law of attraction, right? Whatever we send out is what we get back. Like attracts like. So if you're feeling scarcity or lack in one of those areas of abundance, that's what you're focusing on, that's what you're putting out, that's what you're getting more of back, right? So this is a real invitation to look at how you feel about different things, right? If you're putting out there's not enough clients, then the universe is going to say, oh, great, you don't want any more clients, right? So really pay attention to where you are sending out this signal of you don't have enough of something. So it could be, you know, you don't have enough good connections. You know, maybe you want to be connecting more with more spiritual women, but you feel that there is a lack of spiritual women to connect with. Or, you know, maybe you want more money to flow in, but you're living from a space of scarcity and lack, which means you're not investing in yourself or your business. And then, you know, I believe if we don't invest in ourselves and in our business, then we can't expect others to invest in us, right? So if you're, you know, putting out all your offers, for example, and you see an offer that you really want and you think, great, this will be great for my business, but I can't afford it, right? That's the energy that you are in, and that's the energy that you are sending out there. Okay, so really pay attention to where you feel there's not enough of something, and look to see what you can do to change that, because it might just be a belief, it might just be a mindset or a pattern that is running underneath this, that is telling you that there isn't enough. Okay, so if you pick card 2, let me know in the comments. And card 3, we have boundaries. So this again is an interesting one. Boundaries are so important, right? So many of us spiritual women are people pleasers, for example, and we have an inability to say no. So this card is inviting you to really look at where you can put boundaries in place to protect your energy, to protect your time, to protect your vibration and your frequency as well. Because all the time we're saying yes to things that aren't in alignment with us, we're taking energy away from the things that are in alignment with us and the things that bring us in what it is that we need. So this isn't about becoming selfish and saying no to everything. This is about saying no to the things that are not in alignment with you, okay, that take your energy, that bring you no joy, that stop you focusing on the things that are important. Okay, so this card's inviting you to look at some boundaries, and it's not enough to just set boundaries, we have to stick to them as well. So where can you set some boundaries that is going to protect your time, your energy, your business, and your joy as well, right? It's so important that we are experiencing happiness, bliss, joy, connecting in with our purpose, right? When we're working with our purpose, everything becomes so easy, everything becomes enjoyable, right? And that brings us our bliss. So anywhere that you are not able to connect to your purpose, your reason for being here, because people are using you, abusing you, draining you, whatever it may be, these are the boundaries that you need to put in place. So if you chose card 3, let me know in the comments and let me know how that card resonated with you. So whatever card you chose today, I want you to come back to one simple question. What is this showing me about the way I currently relate to abundance? Because the first step is always recognition. Once you can see the pattern, the belief, or the protective response that has been running underneath the surface, you can begin to make a different choice. Boundary patterns might look like saying yes when you mean no, feeling guilty when you put yourself first, over-explaining your decisions, allowing other people's needs to come before your own, or tolerating behavior that drains you, or feeling responsible for keeping everyone happy. For lack and scarcity, patterns might look like constantly worrying there won't be enough, holding on to money because spending feels unsafe, undercharging, overworking, feeling guilty, receiving support, comparing yourself to others, believing opportunities are limited, expecting something to go wrong when things start going well, or feeling like you always have to struggle before you can have more. And for environment, it could show up as staying in spaces, relationships, or routines that no longer support who you're becoming, feeling constantly drained by the people around you, struggling to focus because your environment feels chaotic, or you're shrinking yourself to fit in, or repeatedly choosing familiarity over actually what feels nourishing. So let me know if the card resonated with you and which card you chose. I always love seeing where the messages land. Thank you for being here with me today, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao for now.